Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the MonaLisa Monroe Morning Show. Grab your coffee and your tea, hunty, because we have a lot to talk about this morning. If you're new to the show, welcome. What we do here at the MonaLisa Monroe Show is we do an introduction. Hey, how y'all doing? And then we do 3 red hot topics. I conclude, and then we are out. So, before we get started, y'all already know I'm going to send you straight to my website, www.monalisamonroe.com. Please purchase the merchandise. We've got cups, we've got t-shirts, we've got tote bags, we've got you covered, okay? At the MonaLisa Monroe Morning Show. www.monalisamonroe.com. Please visit my website. And also, please purchase my book, Life After the Diagnosis. Oh, what a book. If you guys know my story, you know I am a survivor of leukemia. All of my day-to-day ups and downs are in the book. How do you purchase the book? You can do that in 2 ways. You can go to amazonprime.com, hello, Or you could go to my website, www.MonaLisaMonroe.com. Okay, people, let's get this party started right, shall we? Are you watching the trial? And all I have to say is the trial. And you already know what I'm talking about, people. The trial of the century. You know, I thought about this thing and I said, when have I ever been glued to the TV dealing with law and order or trials? I can count on one hand. I'm talking about glued, my people. First time I was glued was the Rodney King trial. If you guys don't remember Rodney King trial, I don't know what to tell you. But that was like in 1990 something, maybe 92, 93, something like that. I was glued to the TV and they got off. The second time I was glued to the TV was the OJ trial. Yeah, glued. And OJ got off. And the third time I was glued to the TV was the Zimmerman trial. And he got off. And now here we go again, my people. The trial of all trials. Hopefully, prayerfully, he gets justice. What trial am I talking about? I'm talking about the George Floyd saga. The killing of George Floyd. David Chauvin, however you pronounce that killer's name. He's on trial. And today is day 4. And they're probably on right now. So if you guys tuning in to me, I appreciate it, because if I wasn't doing the show, I would be glued to the TV like I've been for this whole week. Okay? So, tell me, have you been watching the trial? That's the first question. That's the first topic. Have you been tuned in to the trial? I'm looking at some good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you so much, Bridget. I appreciate it. Are you guys watching the trial? Yes. Okay, Adrian, thank you. Okay. Secondly, what did you think about the witnesses so far? So far, my people, if you have not been watching, I'm going to update you on everything. Day 1 was the witness that videotaped the whole thing. She was 17 years old. 17. She videotaped the whole thing. Second witness was another teenager that taped the whole thing. Thirdly, the 9-year-old. Yes, you got it right. She was 9 years old and watching everything go down. Yeah, they didn't show their faces, but you heard their voices, people. And it was sad. Oh my God, it was so sad. And then last but not least, the man that knew martial arts, knew the police academy procedures, and he was right in front of the body cam addressing the killer, the officer, David Chauvin. He looked right at him and he named the chokehold. And the picture that rang across America and the world was when he looked up and was still kneeling on George Floyd's neck, matter of fact. He looked up, and that is the photo that when he named that chokehold, he looked up as he knew what that black guy, oh, what it was his name. I'm going to remember his name. If you guys remember his name, please post it. But he named that chokehold, and automatically he looked up. So he knew. Intentions were there. Wanda, I can't do to work, but even I was working. Okay, yeah. So and that's the thing. They're doing it during the day. So you really can't watch it. Good morning, Jackson. You really can't watch it. Good morning. Good morning. How you guys doing? Peace and love to you as well. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot. So to help me break this thing down, my wonderful guest, my loving husband, we're gonna just feed off of each other dealing with this trial. Welcome to the show, Gary Monroe.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Let me get my coffee because it's on. What do you say in your opening? Get your coffee.
Yeah, get your coffee and your tea. Okay.
Hunt tea.
Yeah, hunt tea. So yeah.
So I'm pouring up.
What I was talking about to the viewers right now, all of my viewers, good morning to you. Thank you for tuning in. We are talking about the trial of all nations, the trial upon trials. And just like Al Sharpton said, he said it best. Al Sharpton said, this is not just David's trial.
Right.
This is the United States of America on trial. What do you say about that, sir? What say you?
What say I? Well, you're exactly right about that. Dr. King reached to the moral conscience of America to engage and to try to bring about change
Right.
in civil injustice.
Right.
And I think you had a guest on here a few weeks ago, Bonnie, your friend.
My close friend, my sis.
Right, who's a white
from
female.
Another miss.
Who's a white female. And you said one of the compelling revelations was when she stated that white America, in a sense, will never understand,
right,
but we have to try to feel.
Right.
You have to have sympathy and empathy.
Right.
And this right here, where Dr. King is reached to the morality, the moral base of America. This trial right here reaches to the humanity of America.
Right.
It's like you hate to put things in a black and white context.
Right, but it's there.
But it's there because the argument, this entails and encapsulates everything.
Right.
Colin Kaepernick.
Oh my gosh.
It centers around police brutality. And for whatever reason, white America feels that our feelings toward police brutality is either falsified or is not real to us.
Right.
But it's not a hate that we have toward police and law enforcement.
Right.
It's a fear.
It is a fear. Terrifying fear. And if you guys, okay, for those who are watching the trial, you know what I'm talking about. But those who have not watched the trial, let me just break it down. They are showing video. They started out showing video from the witnesses. That's how they started. But oh my goodness, the third day, which was yesterday, they showed footage of the body cams from the police officers. Right. That's when you saw the fear and the terrorizing antagonization of the officers towards George.
you know, again, that fear is real,
It
and
is.
that fear comes from a place of history. It comes
Mm.
from a place of history. It's almost like it was um, prophetic in a sense.
Oh wow.
When you hear the testimony of Mr. McMillan, when
Oh.
he shared that he had seen Chauvin 5 days earlier and
Oh
said
yeah.
to him, "Hey, listen,
Oh.
man, just like you want to go home to your family, just like
Wow.
you want to go home to your family, let us go home too."
Mm, mm,
5 days prior
mm.
to the George Floyd murder, one of the witnesses, Mr. McMillan,
The older gentleman.
had an encounter with
Yeah.
uh, Chauvin, and he said to him,
Hmm.
um, just like you want to go home to your family,
Right.
let him go home to his. And
Right.
it's almost like, well, who is this him he was referring?
Right.
So then now you come on the scene, and
Uh,
he's telling George Floyd, you can't win. And George Floyd is saying, I don't want to win.
yeah.
And when you
That
look
was
at
so
the
sad.
body cam, the first thing, get this, America. The first
Mm-mm-mm.
thing that George Floyd states is, he's like, listen, man, please don't kill me.
Wow.
Please don't kill me.
Wow.
And this is what we want America to feel and empathize.
Yeah.
I'm in a good place in life.
Mm.
And but by the grace of God, I've overcome that fear.
Yeah.
I've overcome that fear
Right.
of when I see blue lights.
Right.
When you see blue lights,
Right.
you see blue lights and you say, help is on the way.
Help is on the way. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in, Rev. How you doing? Good morning. Yes, you watching the trial as well. That was the saddest moment
Yeah.
for a 61-year-old man to break down the way he broke down yesterday. And he said that he lost his mother.
Yeah.
He lost his mother in June.
Mhm.
And to hear George Floyd call on his mother, knowing that his mother, later we found out, has already gone. So so let me backtrack. More of the footage from the body cams, from the police officers, showed you the treacherous acts that were on this man. Okay. We started out with the body camera of the very first police officer when he walked up to the vehicle. He had his guns drawn.
Absolutely.
Guns drawn.
And as the young lady in one of the commentaries on CNN, what's her name, Laura Coates?
Laura, she's a bad
she's
girl.
doing an awesome job.
I'm gonna have to tag you, Laura.
Yeah, in commentating and breaking things down to the general public. But she stated that, you know, they not only just came with their weapons drawn,
right?
They actually tapped on the window
with the gun.
With the gun.
Come on now.
I think this was one of the retired lieutenants that they were interviewing on television.
Yeah, yesterday.
From the LAPD.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, you know, he tapped on the on the window with his service revolver. Now it could have easily dislodged and killed or shot George Floyd or anyone in that vehicle or just general public accidentally.
Right.
So it's even the approach
of it all,
and how not only it's bigger than George Floyd. You said it earlier. This trial is not about a presentation. Who's the best attorney?
Right.
Who, whether it's the prosecutor or defense.
The video.
This America is on trial.
That's right.
The heart.
The heart of America.
Listen, not the conscience.
Right.
This is not about your reasonable deduction. It's not about your logic. Heart. This is your heart.
Your heart.
If this trial doesn't touch the heart of America and even all of those who stood against Colin Kaepernick.
We don't know what to tell you.
You don't have a heart.
Laura is a bad woman. Thank you so much, Rev. She's bad. And she's on CNN. She's a black woman that is one of the commentators on CNN. I'm going to tell you like this. Not only is America on trial, okay? America is on trial and the police. Because defund the police, in case you misunderstood the year of 2020, when the Black Lives Matter protest was happening and all that good stuff, defund the police. This is the reason why we were talking about distributing the monies in other locations, because you guys, not all of you, don't get caught up in all of that. I'm talking about the bad apples, okay? And the good apples know who the bad apples are. I have seen enough movies to know exactly
real life.
I have seen enough movies and real life to know that every officer knows the good and the bad. It's just depending on what you want to do with that information.
Well, it's not only just saying
City on the Hill, okay?
Dude, yeah. City on the Hill. Oh,
y'all need to check that show out.
It's not only what are you going to do with that information, but in real time, what could have been done by those other officers.
Yeah.
In real time.
Mm-hmm.
You know the training. I saw a show late last night where they had a martial art instructor and sensei, and he was illustrating not only the tactics, but the very degree of these tactics.
See,
and he was saying that essentially, you know when you are enforcing
that's right
deadly force.
You know it.
Okay.
Oh, that reminds me. The witnesses from the first and the second day were saying that he was rocking back and forth with his knee on the man's neck. So you pretty much know that you are applying force to different parts of the man's neck in order to kill him, torture him, whatever the case may be. But you're rocking back and forth to move around and adjust yourself. And one of the witnesses yesterday said he looked comfortable. He looked comfortable on top of the man's neck.
Yeah.
Now, I tell you what.
In a resting state.
Yeah, in a resting state. Ben Crump. Let me tell y'all something about that brother. He's a lawyer that was for the, he's been basically the main lawyer. Like, what was his name back in the day? The one that acquitted OJ? What was his name?
Johnny. What's his name?
Oh my gosh.
Somebody knows. Johnny. What's his name?
Oh, the lawyer that pretty much got OJ off. But Ben Crump is the lawyer, okay? He said this thing the other day that was just like beautiful. He said, I would have every juror get on one knee for 9 minutes and 29 seconds.
Yeah.
So you can see that if you intentionally stay on one knee, that means you intentionally killed that man. Now, if you rocking and rolling and da-da-da-da-da, then okay. But if you have to be intentional, staying on one knee for that long. Okay, so we're gonna.
Bridget says, "Great job," and no, it was depressing. Johnny Cochran.
Oh, Johnny Cochran. That's his name. That's his name.
But okay, it was depressing.
I want to go through here, and I'm missing some comments. But this show today is basically giving me feedback. I want you guys to give me feedback on what did you think so far about the trial. Do you think the prosecution is doing well? Do you think the defense attorney is doing well? What do you think? A lot of folks is at work. They can't really watch the trial. And that's what my show is for. I'm going to update you. I'm going to upgrade you. But I will let you know.
Well, it again. I don't want us to get caught up in the minutia of the trial, and that is prosecutor, defense. This is real life. This again is the trial of the heart of America. We've dealt with 50 years ago, 50 plus years ago. Again, we've dealt with the moral conscience of America. We're now dealing with the heart of America. Us.
Well, I know if you don't want to say it's about the
I
trial,
understand
but
that.
that kicks off everything.
Well, I understand that. That's where the heart of America is being tried in our democracy.
Exactly.
In the democracy, the heart of America is on trial right now.
I can agree with that one.
So, because we have to not just make it, because the reaction to George Floyd's death, we have to make it and put it on a category that his death was not in vain.
Right.
His death.
Right.
I was thinking that his death has the oxymoron is his death has awakened.
Oh my gosh.
The heart of America.
Definitely.
His death has blown breath into the nostrils.
Right.
Living breath into the nostrils of America.
I would say that.
When you consider that man was formed of the dust of the ground, and then God blew into his nostrils the breath of life. If this trial does not blow into your nostrils life, then you're nothing but dust of the ground.
Right.
That's
it. He said the 61-year-old man called him. He said, "I did respect you." He said, "The 5 days that I saw you previously, I did respect you." He said, "But now you're nothing but a maggot."
Yeah.
So guess what? You either gonna have some breath breathed in your being from this trial, or you're nothing but a maggot. Now,
this.
What you say about that, America?
Well, this is real. It's real. It's real.
It's real.
It's real. It's real.
And to see,
you have to. You watch a show. I think Soul of a Nation.
Oh yeah, I love that show.
What's your girl's name?
Oh, Sunny.
Sunny.
Sunny, I'm gonna tag you too.
At the conclusion of her show, she always asked her guest,
right?
When did you know you were black?
When did you know you were black?
When did you know you were black?
Think about that now.
Think about that question.
Yeah.
And I know, and many people said, well, when I was in the 3rd grade,
that's right,
they had an experience here.
That's right.
When I was in the 4th grade, I had an experience here. See, that's a question that the black community is cognizant of.
Right. When did you know?
That's not a question that white America has to answer.
When did you know you were white?
When did you know you were white? The day I was born, I knew I was white.
Wow.
But and you and I were talking about that, and you gave me a story when you were in school, and I said, man, wow.
Yeah.
Funny enough, for me, you got to understand the nature of the question. But I always knew I was black because we grew up here in the city of Garden City, and we understood that there was a divide in the road.
Well,
that you couldn't go on that side of the highway, you couldn't go to the gym, you couldn't get in the pool.
But listen,
certain things just existed.
Everybody that has grown up, I don't care where you are. I don't care where you are in America. You have 2 specific locations, and it's across the tracks. You either live on this side of the tracks or you live on that side of the tracks. So you are aware, you are aware of what you can do and what you can't do. But as a child, you're thinking you can play with everybody.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking. But the moment Sonny is talking about is when you knew something was different about your skin.
Because of
right.
incident.
Adrian, I think the prosecution is doing a great job proving murder. They have left the door open for the defense. I agree totally. The prosecution is doing an amazing job. I'm really curious, actually, to sit back and wonder what the defense is going to say, because what can you say? Like the commentator said on CNN, the commentator said the video is enough evidence, really, but in order to give the man due process, we have to talk about what happened before the 9 minutes and 40, what was it? 9 minutes and
29 seconds.
29 seconds. We have to talk about what happened before, what happened after. I get all of that. But let me tell you something. Let me go back a little bit. Yesterday, when the young man that is now 19, he was 18 when the trial was going on, okay? He was the child or the teenager that turned the money in and realized that it was a fake $20 bill. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was so upset with him. I didn't know what color he was. I didn't know, but I was upset with the person that called 911 based on this fake $20 bill. Okay. But after yesterday, in his testimony about that whole thing, changed my mind, because you were doing your job. Okay. You were told to report any type of fake money.
He was doing his job.
He was doing his job. So that freed me from being angry with him. That's number one. Number two is you said with your own, like my grandmother said, with your own self mouth, that you offered to pay the $20 out of your check. That has not been said anywhere.
And the reason being because he realized that George Floyd did not know what he was doing.
Right. He had no idea it was fake money.
Right. He realized that George Floyd was clueless about the fact that this was counterfeit money. Now he knew, because the guy who came in earlier, who was with George Floyd, he came to try to purchase some goods manipulatively. So the guy knew he was trying to be a con artist, right? And he went back out, came back in at a later time. But the young man stated that when George Floyd came in, he came in a very innocent demeanor and mindset.
Not like he's stealing or doing it. You know what?
That's why he said when the cop came up, when the guy said they went to the car, said George Floyd was just sitting in the car like, what's going on, man? Like,
had no clue.
Don't let this happen to me today.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm glad you brought that other person up. Okay, so we found out during the trial yesterday, that there was another person in the vehicle, two people, a woman and a man. But this dude, came to the store previously and got caught with fake money.
Yeah.
This was before he got with George Floyd. He was tagged using fake money. Okay. So now George Floyd is giving him a ride somewhere. Okay. Him and this woman. George Floyd is in the store. They have cameras in the store. George Floyd gives him money. They exchange money, whatever the case may be. The dude gave George Floyd the fake money because he was the one with the fake money. So George Floyd had no idea about any fake money. But oh my gosh, when he got out of that car, when the police pulled up and walked up to the car, you should have seen how cooperative he was. Because usually when you're guilty, you're very cooperative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What you need? Oh, no. Oh, he just giving me a ride. Da, 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 da. He knew. And then when the stuff started getting heated, when the police officers started wrestling with George Floyd, then you want to jet and leave. And guess what? No cameras, no one from there. Where was the two people left? He walked right out of the car.
Yeah, again,
didn't even ask him any questions about a fake money or whatever.
We understand due process. To be honest with you,
I'm so upset.
I would
now.
hate
I'm
to
so
be
hot.
the DA. I would hate to be the defense attorney right now because I mean, you have to have due process.
Hey, good morning.
But I mean, what do you do when you have a case that's closed
open and shut
case? It's you, but you have to go
through the motion.
The due process. And it's interesting that every witness that came on that stand carried with them a high degree of guilt.
Oh my God.
Of hurt. And, you know, the tears of this Mr. McMillan, the pain of the two young babies who are underage. You know, one little baby said that, you know, she is staying awake, didn't sleep at all the previous night, and that she was awake the entire night, going through her mind what she thinks she should have done. I should have done something. Right. And she actually stated that what she finally concluded to help her move forward, me elaborating, is no, the problem is not what I should have done, it's what the officers should have done. Yeah. So you know, you hear this sad. Between Mr. McMillan and the young brother, the martial arts guy. You know, he walks with a degree of alpha male. Right. And I'm saying that's to make a point because, you know, he spoke of having the training and then the capacity to stay in his body, have the capacity to contain his emotions. Right. But when they played, his 911 call, when they played his 911 call, his emotions got the best of him. Oh, that was so sad. And for him to hear that over again, you know, it put him in a place of saying, I wish I could have done something. Right. Miss Monica Rev, I realize this is a sensitive matter and most of us hate reliving it. Oh my gosh. And we know the police officer Shavin is guilty as sin. We know what happened. However, prosecutors are presenting the evidence and facts, but in my opinion, not coming hard enough to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. What? Perhaps this is their strategy, but this system is already corrupt. We need them to prove with confidence beyond a reasonable doubt. Wow. Wow, Rev. That's amazing because to me, they're proving beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm gonna tell you, it did buckle me when the boy said he looked like he was high. That threw me because I was like, oh my God, the defense is gonna ride that like a horse. But actually, they took the air out of the defense when they talked about how they, you know, pretty much how they couldn't hide the fact that he was a little maybe high or something. They couldn't hide it. So he had to address it in some manner. You know what I mean? But that, I ain't gonna lie, that I was just like, oh my God, why are you saying that? But yeah, but beyond a reasonable doubt, I mean, I'm still thinking that they have. I guess the argument of the defense is the intent. The whole of the case is
why?
Intent.
Why would you do that? Yeah.
Well, I guess, you know, that's what she's saying. We know that there was excessive force there.
But why?
So it's a matter of trying to, I guess what you're saying, I can't recall who it was. I guess you was trying to prove without a reasonable doubt that there was intent behind this malicious, this act of malice.
Because one thing you can't say is you did all that because he was black. That's not gonna fly. You have to prove in some kind of way why he would do that. Now, right now,
the statement, his statement that was captured off of his body cam after Floyd left.
The prosecutors are trying to say that he did that because he was a big guy, and they had to
intent. That proves the intent of your force, because you're saying in your mind, irrespective of the fact
that big black man,
that he was not resisting, irrespective that he became non-responsive, because you had it fixed. And remember, I said it seemed like the guy Chauvin had transcended to another place. He really had left that moment.
Ooh,
if you stand there and if you would sit and look at that video and you see him just sitting there,
an out of body,
he had really transcended from that moment. Because he was fixated on the fact that in his mind that this man stands 6'4", 200+ pounds. So, in his mind, I'm having to exert this degree of force to do what? He was already handcuffed, apprehended, and subdued.
It just seems like to me it was divide and conquer. It was like, we're going to bring this black person down. He's big. We're going to make sure he knows who's the man or who's in charge or whatever. And it's just, I don't know. But it's just so, but you know what? Okay. The prosecution, I love the way they're laying it out, because before the defense goes up, gang, I think they have a bomb. I think they have something in their back pocket that's going to rock our world. I'm telling you, the prosecution. I
thought you said
no, I'm talking about the prosecution. No, I don't know what the defense is going to do, but the prosecution, before they give it to the defensive side, before they rest, as they say, I think they got a major bomb, because they started out the gates with the people that were right there.
Well, the question is always in whenever we have these horrendous crimes captured on video. The first thing we hear from America is, we don't know what happened before what was captured on video.
Right.
This right here, we saw what happened after, during, and before. And I like to make a point too. We don't know, to the comment, we don't know what happened before. And I want to parallel it to, why don't we just move on? Why don't we just forget the past and move on?
Oh my God.
Well,
you about to take the
words you say, let's move on. But in cases like this, you say, we don't know what happened before what is captured on camera. Well, in terms of let's moving on and why don't black people just get over it, that's because we are considering what has happened before what is happening.
Right.
And our mindset, our fear, our hurt, our pain, our struggle in America is consequent of what has happened before in the last 200, 300, 400 years of our ancestors' existence, of our existence.
So let's really talk about what happened before.
so let's talk about
let's talk about it.
What happened before we've gotten to this place.
Right.
Since you want to bring that into the equation all the time.
Exactly.
Let's talk about
exactly.
Why we feel the way we feel in certain instances.
Well, you guys, we're on fire. As you see, we are on fire. So I don't want to miss your comments. So I'm going to sort of backtrack a little bit and see what you guys are saying to me.
Say something to MonaLisa.
You guys have been saying, if you are just now tuning in, Thank you for tuning in this morning to the MonaLisa Monroe Morning Show. We're talking about the trial that is changing America, hopefully, prayerfully, the world, actually,
the hearts,
the hearts and minds, prayerfully, of America. Jackson, the paramedic questioned his vital signs, and she was white. Exactly. So it's beyond a black and white thing, as Gary was saying earlier. We're not talking about compassion. She had compassion for George Floyd as he was being killed by that police officer. So she was like, can you let me check his pulse? Can you check his pulse? And then everybody started saying, check his pulse, check his pulse. But on the body cameras of the police officers, I'm going to tell you this. One of the police officers did check his pulse. Plain as day. But guess what? It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
He checked his pulse, and David, the killer, okay, was still on George Floyd's neck. So it didn't matter.
The jury and executor.
Yeah. He did check his pulse. More than once is what the body cam showed.
So we're checking the pulse. This case is checking the pulse of America right now.
Yeah, we're checking your pulse.
And no, and I say the interesting thing about this is I think one of the attorneys, prosecutors, brought out that we have an array of witnesses.
Yes.
Gender, age,
a rainbow,
color.
Rainbow.
So
witnesses.
we're getting the viewpoints and the emotions and the response from an array of people.
Right.
But here's the amazing thing. You have a 61-year-old gentleman, right?
Yeah.
That stated that he only has a 3rd grade education.
Man.
But his heart was broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have
a 9-year-old.
2 underage babies, a 9-year-old and a 17-year-old. And their hearts were touched.
And broken.
With compassion.
Right.
We have another 19-year-old guy.
Right.
Okay.
That felt guilty.
And that felt guilty.
Oh.
The martial arts guy.
Oh.
The young white female who was a paramedic. All of these different array of people
that felt
with different degrees of training, different degrees of education, with different degrees of cultural background and how they were raised. All of them were of one consensus that this was a heartless, despicable, as Bridget said, depressing crime. Chauvin is a trained professional.
Exactly. Well,
and you mean to tell me that a man with a 3rd grade education has enough reason to know
that it was wrong,
that the force that you are using is above necessary?
Right. Black empowerment. Good morning, Lord. If it wasn't for camera phones, who would the world believe? You already know.
We said we were talking about that the other night. And again, to America, going back before what has happened. So what we are seeing here and able to capture on camera, just imagine what Emmett Till went through.
Yeah.
Just imagine
what our ancestors went through without cameras.
Without where we are as a country today.
Man.
Okay? Just imagine what they went through. They had to go through the system, the law enforcement, nothing on their sides. So when the Birmingham, Alabama bombing at the church, just imagine.
Oh my God.
These trials.
My God.
These heinous killings.
And what can you do?
Without cameras.
And what can you do?
So if we could see the atrocity of this crime in real time today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Before the death, just imagine.
Right. That's crazy.
All the unknown, uncaptured deaths.
Yeah.
In the history of Black America, or at the hands of police brutality, whether it's black or white, green or yellow. You know?
Yeah. It just goes to show you how, the more and more we sort of point these things out, Either that's with conversation or with video. The more and more we show America that is two sides. It's two sides of America, and I don't care if they don't believe it. It's true. It's just a true fact. Rev, I sure hope God will cause this case to work out in the favor of right justice. It's just sad. I know the whole thing is sad. It's just sad.
Yeah.
But I'm going to talk a little bit before we close, talking about the two Americas. The insurrection that happened January 6th. Right. Everyone knows what kind of madness that was, and yet anyone has yet to serve as a sentence. Okay, everyone's going to jail but getting out, and it's just they playing. Okay, they're just playing. And then the one with the horns, he's getting vegan food as he's waiting for a trial. You know, just that kind of stuff. And then you have a black representative that represents her state to knock on a door
peacefully
to understand what's happening on the other side.
Not armed.
And she has 2 felonies now for knocking on the
governor's door. Okay.
But yet you don't see the two Americas. You don't see how we say as Black America that it's not fair and it's not equal.
Right.
It's not right.
So, and let me preface what you're saying is, it's not that we want you to shoot non-Black Americans. We just want you not to shoot us.
Yeah. Just stop shooting us.
It's not that we don't want you to, it's not that we want you to harass white America. We just don't want you to harass us.
Yeah.
It's about justice and equality.
Yeah.
So you have in that parallel of what happened at the Capitol, at the nation's capital and the state capital here in Georgia, you have intelligence that you had knowledge of this rally that was going to take place.
You got information
that they were coming there to cause disruption. They had the rally. They marched from the rally to the Capitol. They breached security. They breached security with the flagpoles of justice, the flagpoles of liberty, the flagpoles of democracy. They used to beat the officers in blue.
And you yet pull a gun.
And not one gun pulled. And understand this now.
Nobody.
There were law enforcers beating law enforcers. There were firefighters beating law enforcers. There were lawyers, doctors, elected officials, rich people, wealthy people.
And you still didn't draw
common America. The thing I'm trying to paint here, doll, is a lot of times we like to say, oh, these are just white supremacists. These are just what you call Proud Boys, Antifas, or what's the back Bush people, unintelligent white people. No, these people were of the general public.
Yeah,
that lives right next door to you.
Yeah, they're your doctors and your lawyers.
And they went to the Capitol and they stormed the Capitol. Yeah. And not one person, unfortunately, the young lady lost her life. But here's the thing. Every officer interviewed stated that they thought for a second if they drew their guns.
Oh, yeah.
How they could possibly incite the crowd even the more. And see, that's what we're asking for.
Just the thought.
When you come on the scene with us,
you don't
take a second and think.
You don't think. Well, I'll take that back. You do think.
You do think.
You think that we're going to kill you.
Absolutely.
And so you draw your weapons. But I wanted to basically open the door real quick, like as
Richard Scott says, good morning, Monroes. Don't worry.
Good morning.
God sees all of this and his justice is coming. Just wait and see. Yes.
And you know what, you're right. And Reverend Monica just said that is why she made her point, because of you have to bring it home, she said, because of that very reason. You have to bring your case beyond a reasonable doubt because the justice system is so unequal at times. So you have to be able to bring it home. But I'm going to tell you this, Rev. I really think they have a bomb that we just don't know of because we're in day 4 and there's footage that no one's ever seen that gave you a brand new light on how evil and how treacherous this actually was. And they were saying that the defense should have objected to the police body cam because it was so damning to the officer. But for them to not stop the video, I'm sure the defense has something, which I'm thinking they're going to produce blood tests and try to show that he was on something and he was stronger than usual. Because people say that if you're on PCP or anything like that, you have strength beyond
superhuman.
Superhuman.
No, it wasn't that.
Somehow, wait. Bring it back to me. Bring it back to me. Somehow, what we see on recordings from our devices are explained away. And you are right. You are right. But you can't explain away a police body cam unless they took the video and did a little something.
And also, it becomes hard to prove that he was some monstrous person because at every interaction of every witness, they disclose that he was pleasant.
Yeah, he was kind. Playful. He joked.
He was playful. I mean,
he wasn't dangerous.
Let's just be real.
Oh,
we who are, say, from the hood, in the hood, we who understand our culture. When you look back at the videos in the store, George Floyd was just having a good time.
He was just a little tipsy
within himself. Within himself, you know.
Y'all should have seen it. He was doing this stuff.
He was just laughing and dancing and just being himself.
Oh,
just
Lord.
And we're not threatened by his presence. No one in that store.
No one in the store was
afraid or threatened by this man's size,
right?
His character, his deportment, his actions, or anything.
Right. But you have to remember that the 911 call. They said a fake dollar bill, black man owns something. That's the information.
But again,
so the first thing they're going to do,
they already geared in
their mind. They're ready to go. Okay, this.
So they came in with the black gloves.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
They got out
with black gloves
on.
Nobody else.
Black gloves signifies you are anticipating confrontation.
You ready?
That's what you are anticipating when officers come to the scene with black gloves.
Right.
You know.
And we're going to go ahead and finish off watching the trial for you guys. And thank you for tuning in to the MonaLisa Monroe Morning Show with my special guest, Gary Monroe. And thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, go to www.MonaLisaMonroe.com to purchase the merchandise, cups, t-shirts.
I got me one for free.
Cups, t-shirts, we got it. Please go support. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. Bye-bye.